Good day. Today we do trigonometry. We focus on the reduction formula. We're doing video 4.1. I think there's a lot of depth in this video, so please pay careful attention to the information that is shared because it might be mind-blowing stuff for you. Our question that we are given here is in the diagram below. P with the coordinates x and 24 is a point such that OP is 25. Angle ROP is beta, where beta is an obtuse angle, and that part I would like to highlight because this is going to be mind-blowing. They say to me, calculate the value of x. And then they ask, determine the values of the following without the use of a calculator. Right, so we can see we've got an obtuse angle that is given. We've got point P indicated, point R indicated, O is indicated, the angle beta as an obtuse angle, got 25 there. So the height, which is my y value, is 24. We need to calculate the x value. Already there I can notice that it is a negative value because it's on the left hand side of the y-axis. So the other questions, so the first thing I do, it's a right angle triangle, so I will use Pythagoras. 25 squared minus 24 squared, and I get my answer as 625 minus 576. I get the square root of 49, but remember all along, this answer could be plus or minus, so I need to indicate it could be plus or minus. Then I get an answer of plus or minus 7, but then I say it is negative 7 because it is in the second quadrant. X in the second quadrant is negative. Now we get to our first question, which is sine of B. Now, working with an obtuse angle, we always teach our students that I may speak of this angle as if it is this angle because we say 180 degrees minus beta through reduction. I may use this angle. And then we say sine of beta is the opposite side over the hypotenuse. Sine in the second quadrant is positive, so my answer is 24 over 25. Right, so first thing we do, we say sine of beta is a y value over r value. Let's grab that quickly. And then we say that means sine of beta is 24 over 25. I think everyone is happy with that. Our next question is cos of 180 degrees minus beta. But now, please, cos of 180 degrees minus beta will give you a negative value as an answer. But here, beta is no longer an acute angle, it's an obtuse angle. So that in itself brings about changes. So please follow very carefully as we do these sums. So I'm just going to go. Right, so here we go. We firstly say cos of 180 degrees minus beta. Now we all know through reduction this becomes negative cos of beta. Now cos of beta itself in this quadrant is negative 7 over 25, my x value over my r value. Negative 7 over 25. A negative times a negative is a positive. So, I hear already all the questions and everyone getting a little bit hyped there and saying this can't be. Allow me the following. Right. If they had asked me cos of 180 degrees minus beta for an acute angle of beta, then the answer would have been different. But they supplied me all this information before they asked me. So now I need to consider the following facts. I must understand that beta is no longer an acute angle but an obtuse angle. So the obtuse angle cos of beta is negative 7 over 25. But we are dealing with 180 degrees minus beta. And using my reduction, I have negative cos of beta. Remember, cos of beta being negative 7 over 25. Negative times a negative is a positive. To verify this, I put an example next door that you can try on your calculator. Try the following example and see what your calculator's result will be. Cos of an obtuse angle, and I used a sample of 135 degrees, but you can take any value that is greater than 90 but smaller than 100. Of 180 degrees minus 135 degrees will be negative cos of 45 degrees, because that is what we know. But cos of 45 in the second quadrant will give me negative 1 over square root of 2. So my answer will be positive. And this is what I need to take from here, is that if I take 180 degrees minus 135 degrees, I will have a positive result, because a negative times a negative will give me a positive. Try it on your calculator, try with 2 or 3 different examples, and you will see that the answer is positive. Be strong about it. It is mind-blowing stuff I told you, and it's not easy to understand when we've been taught in a certain way. But please take note of this specific example. It is very tricky. Our next sum asks us tan of negative beta. We know that the ratio of a negative angle is equal to negative the ratio of that angle. So let's look at this example here. So tan of beta is then written as negative tan of beta. We have our negative sign there. But what is tan of beta in the second quadrant for this particular obtuse angle? Remember, we're not working with your normal acute angle of beta now. We're working with the obtuse angle beta, and it takes us to the second quadrant. So tan is the opposite side over the adjacent side. So it is 24 over negative 7. Negative times a negative is a positive. So our answer, once again, is 24 over 7, and it is positive. The very last question in this sequence is cos of 2 times the angle beta. Before I do, for this beta that we're dealing with, our value for sine is 24 over 25. The value for cos beta is negative 7 over 25. The value for tan beta is 24 over negative 7. I just want to stress that before we continue. So cos of beta, 2 beta could have been written in 4 different ways. Cos of x plus x, I could write it as 2 cos square beta minus 1, or cos square beta minus sine square beta, or 1 minus 2 sine square beta. Now you need to know your double angle identities. If you do not know them, you're not going to use them. Or if you write them wrong, you're going to get your answers wrong. These identities are not always given, so you need to give and know them well enough to be able to answer questions. So, firstly, cos of beta is negative 7 over 25. I must square that. Answer, 49 over 625. That must be multiplied by 2, and I must subtract 1. And I get an answer of negative 527 over 625. If I say cos of beta squared minus sine of beta squared, So cos of beta squared, 49 over 625. Sine is 24 over 25. Squared is 576 over 625. Subtract the two from each other. I get 527 over 625. The same answer. Shouldn't be any different. It should be the same. If I had chosen to use 1 minus sine square beta, my answer would have been negative 527 over 625. The very, very same answer in all three. So it did not matter whether you chose that, or whether you chose that, or whether you chose that to answer this question. You would have gotten the same answer inevitably. Thank you very much for watching this video. I trust to see you in our next video. Thank you, thank you, thank you.